So on the road again this week, guys, and today I'm going to see Aspire. Now, if you know who Aspire are, they are going to be running day 2, track 2 of our conference, where we're introducing some more ILS based topics, but more about that shortly. Now, if you haven't done so already, head over to our website and sign up to my 10 tips to TD success that I'm making available to you free of charge. All you need to do is put your name, email address in, and every day for the next 10 days, actually 11 days, but the next 10 days, I will send you one of my tips based on my 20 odd years of working with technical information, and you'll get a short video every day of me talking about everything from choosing the right tools to using specifications wisely and everything in between. But anyway, I'm going to bring you an update on the agenda very shortly. Okay guys, so back in the office today after a really good day yesterday at a meeting where we were flushing out what it is we want the theme to be for TDW-Live this year, and we've come up with what we think is probably the strongest agenda that we've had so far for the TDW-Live series. So let's have a look at what we're going to talk about. Now, of course, some of this is subject to change because some of it is still just ideas that we're kind of flushing around. But what we did was we put together the outline where Aspire are going to look after the ILS track, which is kind of the wider topic, if you like, of the ILS activities of projects, and they're going to talk about some very interesting technology that's available today to help you understand the ILS processes, but also how you can implement an ILS strategy for your projects. So day 1, we want the theme to be actually doing something, which is what we introduced last year at TDW-Live, was that, not the same old discussions about blue sky thinking about, where information might go in the future or how specifications and standards support that. Specifications and standards are important, but real business problems today are more important. So we're going to start the day with defining an ILS process with Peter and the guys at Aspire. I'm then going to talk about managing a technical publications requirement for a project, and then we're going to pass over to another vendor that's going to be there on actually delivering information. So again, day 1 is actually showing and doing and seeing the whole process from definition through to delivery. So that will happen on day 1. Now, day 2, we've got a request out to a really important keynote speaker. The early indications are that might just happen, and we might be able to attract this guy along. So we're hoping that we can announce that in the next week or two. So that's for day 2, and then we're going to split into 2 tracks, which is the first time we've split into 2 tracks at TDW-Live. We're going to break into information in action, which is kind of our traditional, if you like, TDW-Live theme, is that we look at tech pubs, we look at how we can deploy technical information and the challenges of doing that and maintaining it. But then we're going to have also the second track now, which is what Aspire are going to look after. So what are we going to talk about in track 1 is the day's going to open up is where is the return on investment? And this is going to be a leader into the presentation that I will give on day 3 at the MOD day, where I'm going to take a case study of a platform, and we're going to look at engineering hours, maintenance hours, and operation hours, and the material impact of how information affects the through life cost of our projects. So we're going to put some metrics to technical information and the material impact of information that we provide for our end users and how it affects the cost of our platforms. We're then going to have some of the vendor presentations. So Lionbridge will give an update on their field of augmented reality and virtual reality. we'll have flat irons, Heiko, Etaplan, and we have a couple of slots that we're just waiting on confirmation that they still want to speak. As soon as they are filled, we will do that. I will close the day after Adobe with the indirect impact of technical information on tool control. Now, if you know about tool control, you're an engineer, and tool control is something that has always been the bane of people's lives. Tool control is vital to the safety of some of our equipments that we operate. But the way that we deliver information is having a material impact on that. And I've got some real examples, as I said before, time and time again at these events. I've got friends who, my career took me down a technical information path. Their career took them into commercial aerospace and commercial aviation and engineering disciplines. And tool control is really being affected by how we are delivering information. And I'm going to give a little chat about that. We're then going to break out in the evening for our Pie and Pint reception evening or our networking evening, which always works exceptionally well. And the day 2, Peter's track, Aspire's track, they're going to go into the more of the data analytics. They're going to look at how you can define and capture information. Zonal maintenance is something that they're going to talk about, and not zonal in the traditional sense that, at this point, the zonal identifications of a platform. We're talking about how technology can now identify which particular zone you are in, if your vehicle, aircraft, platform is under maintenance tool control, how these beacons can prevent you from doing things. So Peter's going to talk about that. We've then got We've invited a company called Copernicus, who focus in reducing the cost of no fault found in engineering practices. And anybody who is involved in technical information, maintenance, ILS, knows that this is a huge cost area. No fault found. We take something off a piece of equipment, we do all the tests, and we realize that either the technical information's at fault or there's something else within the system that's at fault and not the LRU itself. So they're going to talk about that. Day 3 is our traditional defense day, although we are now looking at answering some more of the real project questions that are out there. So we've got the invites out to the traditional updates on policy. We've got an invite out to Project Kira update, and if you were at TDW-Live last year, you'll know what Project Kira is all about. And we're then going to have another NFF type presentation, we hope, from Copernicus, which will then talk to those defense guys that are there really only for day 3 and talk about that. And then I'm going to talk about the material costs of technical information across a platform, and we've got some real statistics. Operation versus engineering hours. So how many hours a vehicle, a platform is in operation, to how many times a mechanic engineer needs to actually work on that platform. And then we put into our formula the material impact of technical information and how over the life cycle of a platform, and we're talking about a platform here that's been in service for over 20 years, can be affected by what we do in technical information and the decisions that we make at project level. So that's what we're going to have happen. Then Peter, I've asked Peter to close the seminar again this year, because Peter always gives the grenade in the room. He always says, okay guys, but you can do all of this, and you can do all of this today, and you can do it rather cost effectively. So what we're going to do is Peter's going to look at a process approach. And, Peter is all about process. If anybody's met Peter Stoddard from Aspire, it's all about the processes associated with anything that we do in technical information and the ILS and supportability disciplines. So take a look at the website and have a look at the agenda. We think it's pretty solid. We do have a couple of other topics that we will try and slot in if we can, because it's about answering business problems and project problems of today. It's not about, talking about the run-of-the-mill stuff that everybody has heard a million times before. Now, what's really important is Peter and I discussed this yesterday with the team at Aspire. What we're going to do is, if you are a TDIQ subscriber, we're going to live stream day 1 and day 2 to our TDIQ platform. So the technology that we have right now will allow us to decide which particular channels it is that we should broadcast to TDIQ. So we're now, if you are a TDIQ subscriber, you're going to get access to the workshop day via your TDIQ subscription, and you're going to get access to track 1 of the technical publications, or information in action, as we've called that particular track. So if you want more information on how you can join TDIQ, then please get in touch with us here at memberservices@techdataworld.com. If you can't make the event, that's the next best thing. And the great thing is we've got technology that means that you can send us a question and we can ask the presenters on your behalf, and we can answer for you in real time. If you're in a different time zone, don't worry. The technology means that you can rewind and watch from the beginning if you want to. So that's going to happen. So TDW-Live, that's the draft agenda. Do go and have a look at it. If there's something that's really interesting to you on there and you can't make the event, let us know, and we will make sure, if it's not being streamed, we'll make sure that we're recording it and we'll make it available post the conference on TDIQ. So you'll need to have a TDIQ subscription. But the next best thing is to be a TDW member on TDIQ, and you can get access to that. But do go and check out the agenda. I think this is going to be the strongest education-based conference that we have run in the 7-8 years that we've been running TDW-Live now. So look forward to seeing you there. Well, the exhibition area is now completely full, and the day 1 is now also almost full. So if you wanted to come, you need to book very, very soon. But that is the draft agenda for TDW-Live this year, and I think it's going to be absolutely immense.